So today's topic is basically ferromagnetism, right? Ferromagnetism. Okay. So before going to ferromagnetism, first we have to know what is paramagnetic material. Basically, paramagnetic material will have all of its spin or magnetic dipole moments oriented randomly at a finite temperature without any applied magnetic field, right? Without any applied magnetic field, the spins, or you can say magnetic dipole moment, they are randomly oriented. Okay, so this degree of randomness increases with temperature, right? So spins are randomly oriented. Okay, they are randomly oriented before applying what? Before applying magnetic field. So this is the case of paramagnetic material, right? Paramagnetic material. So before applying their spins, or you can say magnetic moment, magnetic dipole moment, they are randomly oriented. Okay, without any applied magnetic field. So this degree of this randomness increases with temperature. So as we increase the temperature, the orientation of the spin, that means the randomness of spin increases gradually as we increase the temperature. Okay, so when we applied field, matlab ki when B not equal to 0, right? When we applied magnetic field, the dipoles align themselves along the direction of the field, right? If I am applying my magnetic field in this direction, so the magnetic dipole moments or spins are aligned themselves in the same direction of what? Applying magnetic field. Okay, so and giving rise to a finite susceptibility, and it will give rise a finite susceptibility. And what is the value of susceptibility in case of paramagnetic material? That we know xi para is equals to del m by del b. Here m is the magnetization, right? And the formula of this is n p square mu b square divided by 3 kBt, right? This is the formula of paramagnetism, susceptibility of paramagnetism, and this is a finite value. Okay, this is basically a what? Finite value. Fine. Now we generally know Hamiltonian. Hamiltonian is nothing that is the sum of kinetic energy plus potential energy, right? So in case of paramagnetic, what happened? So in case of paramagnetic, the form of Hamiltonian, or we can say Hamiltonian paramagnetism, is given by like this: G mu b sum over J S J dot B, right? Here Sj, that is the spin of jth electron, G is the G factor, mu b is the, obviously this is the magnetic moment, okay, B is the applied magnetic field. So here is the what? Paramagnetic Hamiltonian given by this formula: G mu b sum over J Sj vector dot B vector. Okay, but in case of ferromagnetic material, there exists an internal interaction, or you can say exchange interaction, right? Exchange interaction. Okay, there exists an internal interaction and exchange, or it is called exchange interaction. Okay, so and it will cause an effect. So these interactions basically the interaction between any two nearby spin, the interaction between any two nearby spin is known as exchange interaction. That is noticed only in the case of what? Ferromagnetic material. Okay, so and this will cause an effect on their relative alignment. Okay, so this exchange interaction will cause or tend to line up the magnetic moments or spins parallel to each other. Okay, so for ferromagnetic material, so what is the expression of Hamiltonian? For ferromagnetic material, what is the expression for Hamiltonian? It will be minus sum of ij, jij, si vector, sj vector plus g mu b, sum of j, sj dot b, right? So this is the expression of what? That is the ferromagnetic Hamiltonian. See, this expression is arrived from where? Paramagnetic Hamiltonian. This is the expression we are deriving from paramagnetic Hamiltonian, and this expression is due to this exchange interaction. Okay, and we know exchange interaction or exchange integral, basically exchange integral is denoted by J, and this J for ferromagnetic material, this is greater than 0, and for antiferromagnetic material, this is less than 0, right? This J is greater than 0 for your ferromagnetic material, and for antiferromagnetic material this is less than 0. Okay, so see the first term, this term, the first term is known as what it is called? Now this is called, see, this is called Heisenberg exchange energy, as it is comes due to exchange interactions between nearby spin. That's why it is called Heisenberg exchange energy, right? Similarly, the second term, this term is known as usual your what? G-man energy term, that was there in paramagnetic case, right? So this is known as G-man energy, right? This is known as what? G-man energy. Fine. So we can also rewrite this equation in different form. See, this is minus sum over ij, jij, si dot sj, right? Here this is the spin of ith electron and this is the spin of jth electron, right? And it can be written like this, minus 2 sum of I greater than j. So when I am taking here I greater than j, so here I will multiply by 2 and it will be jij si dot sj. Simply just multiply by 2 and it will be further written like this also. See, G mu b sum of I si in the bracketed sum of j, and here j is less than I, okay, j is less than I, and also minus 2 G mu b, okay, G mu b j I j s j vector, right? So here what we can do, so here we multiplied by G mu b and divide by the same factor G mu b, okay, and this bracketed term, see, that is sum of j and j is less than I, minus 2 by G mu b j I j s j. This is known as what? Now this is known as Weiss molecular field model, or you can say this total factor is BE vector, right? Instead of this we can write BE vector. BE vector is nothing, that is the internal molecular field. Internal molecular field, BE vector. Fine. So see, the expression will now changes to, so see BE vector, so see BE vector is what? That is sum of j, and j is less than I and minus 2 by g mu b j I j. J means here j is the exchange integral, right? J I j S j vector. Okay, so this is an average field felt by all the spins. Okay, so next what we have to do, next we modify the, or we can rewrite the ferromagnetic Hamiltonian. So it will be G mu B sum of I SI dot BE plus G mu B sum of J Sj dot B. See, instead of this thing I can put it here BE vector, right? And this whole things are already there. Okay, so now what we can do, we can just taking common G mu B sum over I SI, right? G mu B sum over I SI, it will be, so you can also put it in sum over I SI vector. Okay, so it will be what? This term and this term will common, and it will be B vector plus BE vector, right? It will be B vector plus BE vector. So since the molecular field, this is the molecular field. Okay, so since this molecular field measures the effect of ordering of the system, so we can assume this as lambda in m vector, lambda m vector. Basically this lambda is known as what? That is known as your Weiss molecular field constant. Okay, this lambda is known as Weiss molecular field constant, right? And in case of your paramagnetic material, we have an expression C, M is equal to ms bj g mu b b effective j divided by kbt. So this is the expression in case of paramagnetic material. This ms is known as saturation magnetization, right? And the value of this is n g mu b j, right? And and here bj is nothing, that is the Boltzmann factor. Okay, bj of x, so this whole thing represent the x quantity. Okay, so what is the value of m here? M equals to ms bj g mu b, b effective j divided by kbt, and the value of ms or saturation magnetization is n g mu b j. Fine. Okay, now for small magnetic field, when we are talking about small magnetic field, matlab ki when b equals to small, right? When b equal to small, what happen? M equals to np square mu b square b effective divided by 3 kbt. So this is the expression of paramagnetic magnetization. This expression is paramagnetic magnetization. So here we know P, the value of P square is nothing, G square J into J plus 1. Instead of this thing we can put it here P square. Okay, but B effective, instead of B effective we can put B plus B E, right? So here B is the what? Molecular field. So the expression will be m equals to n p square mu B square divided by 3 kBT B plus BE. So what we will do here? So instead of B effective, here we are putting B plus BE. Okay. So but what is the value of BE? Now this is lambda m. So it will be n p square mu B square divided by 3 kBT B plus lambda m, right? Okay, so this is the case for when B is small, right? See, when B is small, the expression will be like this. Now solving for m. So after doing some calculations, we are find the value of m will be, see, the value of m will be n p square mu B square divided by 3 kb into B t minus n p square mu B square divided by 3 kb into lambda. So after doing some calculations, we are getting the value this. M is equal to n p square mu B square 3 kb B and divided by t minus n p square mu B square lambda divided by 3 kb. So see here this quantity n p square mu B square divided by 3 kb, this quantity is known as C. This quantity is known as C. C is nothing, that is Curie's constant. This is known as Curie's constant here. So the expression will be now m is equals to, instead of this I can put C, so it will be C B t minus C lambda, right? So what? C B t minus lambda C. Okay, so this is the expression of what? Magnetization. From magnetization we can easily find the value of susceptibility. So xi will be del m by del B. So we have to differentiate the magnetization with respect to B. So it will be C t minus lambda C, right? C divided by t minus lambda C. Okay. C, you can also put, instead of lambda C, that is C by t minus Tc. Okay, you can also put Tc here. So Tc is nothing, that is the Curie temperature. Tc is equals to what? This is Curie temperature Tc, that is C into lambda. Okay, so n lambda g square j into j plus 1 mu B square divided by 3 kb. So this is the formula of Curie temperature. Okay, this is the formula of Curie temperature.